All right. Let's see what we get. Just double checking to make sure we're in. Um and as you can see here, this is going to be our second attempt at Journals of Jyggalag, right? That's how I'm pronouncing it. In the Well, it would be Journals of Jyggalag, right? So maybe we'll just say Journals of Jyggalag since, normally the J in Skyrim terms, but I believe it's when J is like the not the first letter, but any letter afterwards, right? It's not Yames or Jan, but it is Bjorn, right? And such. So, Journals of Jyggalag. Um, Reason I jumped in here is I wanted people to see. So it uses community shaders instead of like EMB, and or it uses community shaders I didn't see, and I didn't look hard for it. Any ENB installed, but it uses a lot of people, and it's very polarizing. Community shaders are me. The only knock I have against them is this, right? Usually, when you use them, they have to be compiled right off at the beginning, and in some situations, it can be forever. I've I've sat here for 20, 30, 40 minutes on occasion waiting for these daggone things to compile. This one, when it first initialized, said 54 minutes. Um, and if you're wondering what I'm looking at, you can see there's two numbers. There's the 505, which probably is how long it has already been processing. And then 935 is the estimated total time that it should take to process based on speed and everything like that. You can see we're more than halfway through, right? 54%. And it's saying it should take us about 10 minutes or so to get all the way through based on what's happened so far. That number can go up or it can even come down if all of a sudden we get like a little spurt and, it flies through stuff. Spurts aren't what I'm expecting here. I wouldn't be surprised if this number moves up, right? And our overall, like I said, when it originally started, it said 54 minutes. And yeah, as soon as I saw that, I was pissed. But I'm like, God dang it, I gotta go. Let me just go do other stuff and then come back. And then lo and behold, to my surprise, now it's only saying, basically 11 minutes. Um, Do I think it's going to take that long? No, I do still think it's going to take about 20 minutes or so. So I'm not keeping you guys here that entire time. I thought, well, let me go ahead and do the intro right now while we're waiting, and to let you know that this is the performance profile that comes with it. All right, so Journals of Jyggalag is a NSFW adult themed mod list. It has over 3,000 plugins and mods, so it is pretty extensive. We looked at it once before, and it just proved to be unstable for my system. Nothing has changed with my system. It's the exact same system, but you know what? I may have done some things that might have caused it to not be as stable as it should. So we're just gonna give it a second go around. One of the things we did was with Whispers of Mara, we went in, we tried again. And the second time, it was even less stable than it was the first. And as with a ton of updates that the mod author, Arthur, author had done, so we were like, okay, let's give it another try. Let's see what's happening here. This version compared to the previous one, what we could see differences. I could see clear differences in what was being presented and what the list had, but unfortunately, it was way less stable than it was even the first time around. I am 100% on board with the idea and the story basis of these lists. You know, as a matter of fact, when you read what they are supposed or they're trying to do and what they're adding to the game for you, 100% behind it. Now, do you need Journals of Jyggalag as, if you want all the things that it has to offer? Actually, no. You could get Tomes of Talus. That is the safe for work version without all the um, NSF content. As a matter of fact, I do anticipate that once we see just how, like, we confirm that my system can't handle it, even if I use the performance, um, gosh, what is it called? The performance profile, and I have added 5 mods, 5 bandoliers, unlimited rings, and lootable crates. There's 3 mods, or 3 mods for lootable crates, and I put them in position where I believe they don't damage or affect stability ahead of all the other stuff, that patches and everything like that need to be down towards the end of your list. So I believe they're in the right spot this time. Um, I've limited just to 5, so not trying to go overboard here. And we'll see how that goes. And then we will look at eventually. I'll look at it and see what I can do with Tomes of Talus, to see what the safe for work version does and what the stability looks like without all of the NSFW content. So for now, we're gonna try to get in here. There's another 5 minutes or so, so I'm gonna drop off and come back once it's all completed, and once we're back into character creation, and we can actually get started. But that's where we're at, guys. While we're here, remember, leave a like, comment, and if this is the kind of content you want to see, definitely reach over there, hit that subscribe button. That really helps out the channel, and it makes it so that we do and can continue to provide this kind of content and let you get a look and see how you feel about these lists and mods and games before you actually go through all the trouble and time that it takes to download these and say, hey, no, that's not for me. No, I don't need to expend that much time. Here, you can see it first. And you can say, ooh, okay, maybe I'll try that. Let me see how that works. Maybe I can do it better. You never know. All right, guys, we'll be back in just a moment. All right, guys, we are back in here. I'm using a controller. That's why you saw the cursor, and then it went away as soon as I started doing here. So we're back. This is much different than the last time I was in here. So it looks a little different. We're gonna hit new game. Right now, I don't know what to expect. I don't know what we're gonna see. We are in the Resting Pilgrim. So that means we are in the inn in Helgum. Helgum. In Helgen. So technically, we can just start vanilla right here, right off the bat, probably, in that we could just create our character and just walk right out of the room. I think that's kind of like the alternative perspective approach to it. That is the alternate start mod that they have put in the game for us. So right off the bat, you know how we roll. We usually play an female character. I'm not sure what this is. So this is born under a new Masser and waxing Secunda. These shadowy Khajiit are easily mistaken for elves. In addition to the cat-like stealthiness innate to their kind, they are also skilled in illusion magic and deadly with the bow. Let's click on that. Ooh, a little bit different. A little bit different. Let's. Oh, so they got the tail. You know what that kind of remind me of? What this reminds me of? Um, there's a mod called Mrissy. Um, something heart of something, or I could be wrong, but Mrissy is a follower mod where you can get her, and I think let's just see what we can do here. What are the presets here? Are there any? Doesn't look like any. So let's go back up. Let's see if we can get over here. I'm gonna load and see. So basically, not really any presets available. So we'll go back. This is the only setting that we have if we wanted to continue with this character. We can change the skin tone somewhat. I just don't know. Yeah, I don't see the slider, the weight slider here. Doesn't really do much for you. Let me just switch the guy. Do we really want to be that? See, now for me it's hard because oh, I ain't mad at that. I might want to do Dark Elf this time. Either that or Wood Elf. What's Khajiit look like? That's Khajiit. Argonian. Okay, good. I do not like that little flowery thing around their head, and I don't know, maybe that is a thing here. Um, I see it a lot in some of the mod lists, and I'm not a fan. All right, let's see what we got here. Okay, I like her a lot. Oh, I like her a lot too, and this one a lot. I think, and all actuality. There it is. There it is. I'm not gonna mess with any of these. This is how you would change. Okay, all these things, but this is how you would, basically you could enhance. Say, here's the lower part. Lower part. If I was to do that, I'd probably go 25, and then this one maybe just 10, right? And one last thing, if I'm really, and then like I said, because if I can't help myself, and I can't, right? I'm gonna get down here to here, and then yeah, we're gonna go just a little bit. We're gonna add a little bit there, and then right back up here real quick. One last thing. Me personally, I'll extend this a little bit, like just a little, but, and then I'll hit this one up, right? Just just cause. And then we'll jump over. I got no issues with the head except for the war paint. Do I want war paint on her? Let's just see if they have a good option. Don't like that. Don't like that. Okay, so those are all the options. What I don't like about this is the bottom lip. And I don't see usually my normal fallback. So I would take away that, but yeah, I would just change up the complexion a little bit. Okay. And I don't know. The only thing, honestly, just to be quick about this, because you know how it goes, right? So, one thing that I usually will do is this here. And we'll tweak this a little bit. I just went, yep, a little wider. You can't really tell. It's just a little slight bit. We're gonna hit that out to 25, and then we're gonna hit this up to 15, maybe 20. Just like a little fuller mouth, right? A little wider, a little fuller with the thickness there, right? Um, not really needing if if I'm changing anything, ooh, ooh, and I'm not really a fan of that color usually. Ah. All right, sold, sold. All right, chin forward. Um, let's bring that. All right, that with mouth forward. Oh, wrong way. All right, yeah, okay. And then let's fix this hair. God dang. All right, we just need to fix her hair. Okay, fix her hair and the brows. Not a fan of the brow, but if the hair can hide it, that I don't want it that long in the back. Hold on, hold on. All right, shorter, shorter. Okay. All right. Nope. Not mad at that at all. Um. Yeah. Only other thing that I actually ever do, and I don't know, it's just me, right? I always hit that. Just one tick to the left, just to make them, you know, just a tad bit shorter. And if I do hit anything, I might extend out the glute a little bit. And wait, one last thing. If it is here, which is kind of funny because when you ask, yeah, I am completely into legs, right? Legs and feet, and I like thick ones, not like thick, but thicker, muscular, you know. So yeah, all right, all right, here we go. So we hit the done, yep, and we got to figure out a name for this young lady, Reina Alame. All right. And she will be she, her. I find it hilarious that that is now part of what we have to contend with here. Um, it is, I don't know if it's frozen or if it's loading or anything like that. So we will be back soon. Doesn't bode well if it crashes right at the beginning. All right. As we try and load back in here, one of the things that I did get a chance to do as I was pulling it up was to look at the post installation instructions again. And then one of the things that caught my eye was the difference between the Lords and the performance um, profiles. And in fact, right, I had mentioned earlier about the E and Bs and the community shaders. Well, the performance profiles is the one with the community shaders, while the Lord's profile has uses the E and Bs. So you have a mix right there. You could use one or the other. Apparently, the community shaders is a little bit more suited for I'm not gonna say lower end machines, but for those of us that are really more concentrated on performance and actually getting a working playthrough. Now, problem being is we can see right off the bat that didn't really help us out much. Now, we'll see exactly what happens where we get put back to. Unfortunately, though, I don't believe there's an autosave, right? So I don't believe there's a save file that we're gonna hit back to at that point. So we're probably gonna have to redo. Oh wait. Maybe there is. All right, we're gonna see, and we're gonna hope. All right. So first things first, I'm just gonna click in here, make that active. And then as I do this, it switches back. Now, I did not select any of the controller files that are listed there. Why did I not? It has been my experience in the past, and that doesn't mean it's the case for this. So don't take it as, well, because they don't work. Well, in my experience in the past is when I've selected the supplied controller files and configurations that a lot of the list will add in for you, they don't work to my liking. And they change up so many things so drastically that it's like, well, I'd rather just trust generic um, Steam controller layout more so than the other, and then see what I have to change. Yes, I am scared to hit this button, but we might as well, right? And then again, I don't know where it's going to put us. The hope is that we don't have to recreate the character. We just have to see if everything can stay stable long enough for us to actually start the game. So we'll see what happens there. But um all right. So we hit this, and then I'm going to move around just to see. This is the typical room. Here's that alternate perspective. Oh, romance is installed. Great. We can. Oh, god dang it! I was trying to. It said. See, that says bowl. All right. Green apple. Green apples are the place to be. Green. Ooh, I might just go ahead and take that. And then that. All right, yeah, let's take these. Oh, not as much stuff as normally in there. Um, we'll take the wine. We'll take the wine. All right. So I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna take it. Okay. Oh, arrows. All right. I'm gonna take. I don't like that there's two of them, and then I will take this guy. I don't know what a hook shot is, but it's worth a lot of money, so we will take it. Oh, the twin blade. Okay. All right. And then Journal of Followers, Journal of Questing. We'll take it. Journal of Followers. So Remiel, I am actually looking forward to. I've um played through with her once or so before and gotten pretty far into her quest line, and I actually enjoyed it. Ori, I've actually seen her and have added her as a companion, but never got that far afterwards. So yeah. Serana, I believe this is just a dialogue add-on. If you've played Dawn Guard, you had her as a follower for a while. Lydia is my favorite follower, which might not be the true for a lot of folks, but she is my favorite. Um, I just love Lydia. What is that Vane or Rain? I can't tell. It looks like a V. Um, the Dunmer. Well, this is the Dumber Spy. So I think they instead of being MMER, it should be NMER. Beautiful Dunmer. See, they spell it right over here, but they don't spell it right there. But so that one's going to be interesting. So I believe her name is Vane. Carolyn is a wood elf shaman. Okay. Um, so neither one of those have I actually worked with. I believe that probably is a star Cosma. Is that what it says there? Elite mage librarian. Oh, I'm actually looking for College of Winterhold. God dang it! I don't know if I want to go to the College of Winterhold, but if she's there, it makes me want to now. Right? Right? Okay. Kaizia. I believe that's how she pronounces it. I don't like her. And then it says a cocky and mysterious mage. I once before, long time ago, several years ago, had her in a mod list and tried adding her, and I was like, yes, yes. And I've always tried to get her back, but just couldn't. And then just recently, when the Whispers of Mara, I believe, I tried adding her in, and guess what? I didn't like her one bit, and I just didn't like her comments. Lycia, not worked with her before. I guess I can say just not worked with her before, right? Um, all right, something hot. Is that her name? Hot? Is that H? That can't be H, right? That might be Dot. I don't know. Radical recustomization of Ildari, blah blah blah. Major villain in the Dragonborn DLC. Okay, we probably won't end up. Katana, I gotta say, I didn't like certain aspects of the quest, and it was with choices towards the end of all the stupid moving, going from place to place to place to do the fights, and at the end, between with the mage that was helping to actually tell us, basically the giving us all the different bounties, and Katana herself. I didn't like it. I didn't like the way it wraps up. I didn't like the way it was written. So I'm not a fan, right? I'm not a fan. So I don't know if I would bring her along this time. Even if I were to extend this out, would I bring her along? I doubt it. Zelzaz. Um, not actually. No, not worked with him before. Lucian is funny to me. He's just he's quirky, and it's almost a delight to kind of just have him with you. So if I get down that way, I probably will bring him along. Of course, there's so many different followers. How many do you really need? And so but again, we don't know how far we're going to be able to go. This one I've never worked with, but I don't know if I would try to add him or not. Inigo, I'm not as big a fan of Inigo as most people believe. I always thought he was hilarious whenever I watched oh gosh, Gopher's playthrough, and in his interactions with Gopher. Gopher's interactions with Inigo were always hilarious, and I loved it. But you know, just I don't know, right? It has never been, he's in Riften, and he's just never like it's not something I would go out of my way to go get him. Just not. Um, that kind of leaves me Jesper, never worked with. Um, something Elason, once proud. Yeah, never worked with. Gore. I did accidentally picked him up one time and was like, you know what I mean? It just didn't do anything for me, so I was just like, yeah, no. So this is the one I was referring to before about that one, new oh my gosh, or whatever whatever that gosh, I can't think of what it's called now. But, the cat like the Khajiit like have, mix between Khajiit and elf. And um so Marissy, I always want to go get her, but I never find her. And then it says here that she's on the road between Whiterun and the Western Watchtower. I always thought so. There's another character that you can go get that's in Markath, and I can never remember her name either. And I always confuse the two. But I think, but it says between Whiterun and the Western Watchtower, and I'm like, where? So maybe you pick her up on the road, and we'll see. We'll see. Carla Raven is a custom voice. I've Undead Revenant. No, never worked with. Uh, ooh, Kogra. Yep. Nope. Where do you get her? You find her roadside close to the Nightgate Inn. Okay. Redcap. Nope. And that's it. All right, we're gonna take those. Oh, Conduit Research. I'm gonna close it and take it. Just because I don't wanna. And we're gonna take the Wolong Ring. I don't know what the Wolong Ring does for us. And we're gonna take some snowberries. Um, seriously, that's a ingredient. All right, I'm about to say, why am I opening my the Be Scary? And this will annoy me if it doesn't go away. I don't need that. Ooh. Can I have the scimitar though? Let's see. We'll take that. We'll take all the spell books. But I can tell I will take the Mammoth Tusk and the Dwarven Oil. I'm not taking the Vanity Mirror because I will not be changing museum list building. Okay. And then we'll take the Petty Soul Gem. Now, do you see how this? And I just want to see. All right. Okay. All right. We got to test something. I'm going to hit the left trigger. Oh, nice. Okay. We're going to hit X. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. So if you're wondering what am I gleeful about? Well, one, I'm not gleeful about the fact that this stupid prompt is still on my screen and won't get off. Wait a minute, why am I a pervert woman? Why wait, why? Why? Because I looked at the lusty Argonian? It sells for money. Come on now. And did that just mean I just became more perverted? You know what I'm saying? I don't get it. What in the world, man? Hanging my oop! I didn't want the jug. Didn't want the jug. I wanted the flowers, man. All right, and I was wondering what that was. I was trying to access that, but do you see how this could become a problem? Do I need the loot? Not for if it's 4 carry weight. Okay, um, so this is us. This is us. Look at the yeah. I'm not mad at it. Okay, so first things first. So we hit B on the controller, and then yeah. So you got yeah. I'm okay with that. I am definitely okay with that. I'm not the biggest fan of this layout, but it's fine. Once you get used to it, you're like, okay, I know what to do. One of the things is sometimes you find it so that you only works up and down, like So once we go over in here, sometimes you can't use the D-pad to go up and down with it. Um, Obviously, that in this case is not an issue. So I favorite these. I'm not sure why, but I do. I favorite them, and then we're gonna equip these. I don't know that I want that right at the moment, but it's favorited, so I can always add that. So I don't know what a hook targets to close the distance. Ooh, we're gonna favorite it. I'm not necessarily going to use it. Now this one has a 8 damage, 8 damage. The twin blade does 16. I'm gonna favorite that. Now this one does a little bit more, and then that, and then the scimitar. Okay. Um, I'm gonna hope that when I equip the iron axe, it's not dual wielding. I don't like dual wielding in this game, so I'm not a huge fan of it. Ooh, we got some brie. We got, yeah. So that's what we picked up. These are what we have. Might as well sample a little bit. Sample and get that out of the way. And then here's one thing that I can kind of tell I'm not gonna like about this list. I was expecting, now this is good that it's the here, and we're gonna look at it. I'm not sure exactly what is doing for me. Let's get out of here. Okay, so we got all that. Ooh, okay, okay. I ain't mad at the. Oh my gosh, I'm a little annoyed with all the stuff that that's appeared on my person. You see how all of a sudden now I got 2 axes, equipped there. I don't like that. But basically anything you favored is gonna show up on your person now, right? And I'm like, God dang, man, I get anywhere. Ooh, I like the way she moves though. It's one of those situations. I hate to see you go, but I love to watch you leave. All right. Um, I'm not mad at the UI at all. If anything, I'd like to push it over to the left a little bit more, but right down at the bottom is not bad at all. It's got everything I want. Me, I am a UI person. So, no, I don't want my I'm not one of those people that don't want to see. But one thing that I am huge on is cursor. I have to have my cursor. I need to see my cursor. I don't like when it disappears like this. I'm not a fan of. But as you can see, I'm gonna see if scrolling through here or anything is gonna do anything. You see how that is stuck there? So I'm a little annoyed by that. All right, so let's go ahead and save real quick. And I'm actually gonna save twice. And then um I hate to do this, but we gotta see. I'm reloading, and I'm reloading in the hopes that that prompt disappears. Nice. And also, I was reloading in the hopes that it wouldn't take uh, a lot of time to do so either. So, um, what's our carry weight? Oh, so our carry weight is 307. So right off the bat, that tells me. And let me just look at the menu. So you see, there's a second menu. So you can see there is a ton of stuff. Now, some of the things that I look for, and I'm just showing you, but I'm positive that for me to say play through this, um, at like continue to play through this, there would be a lot of tweaks that I would have to go in and put in here. One of the first things I would look for is, so we have better third person selection. So I would look at that for one and just see exactly what's in here, right? And then the next thing I would be looking for is down here is not immersive winches, alternate conversation camera. I'd probably look at that after a bit. I want to see what it looks like first. Um, I would also look in here for. I would be on. I would go into more HUD. The scale for me, I would actually probably down to that. You can see the Y and the X position. Okay, and then it would. See, it says right always visible. Oops, didn't want to do that. And then target data, show, and then boom, and then scale, boom, and then target count, visible, even when 0, and then like that. And then if I had to, and then right now, just for sake of time, I'm just gonna leave it like that. Yeah, those are serious things that actually um, matter to me for sure. So I would come down as well. Sex grants experience. Oh my goodness. Um, I always hit up the sky. This one. I always make it small and then small. And then I actually usually like to put it on this one. I don't know why. I don't know why. I just do. And then scale. I just take it to 1. Right. And then we come down. Smooth cam. I'm gonna leave on for a minute, but it won't last. Just not a fan of the smooth cam. And then true HUD, right? Actor information bars. I just look at it right here. Now, I'll come over here. We went normal, and then so what I'm really looking at is this one here. So always, yep. Scale bars don't need to. Widget scale, yeah, that's fine. I'm okay with that. And then you can see the anchor. And here, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna do that, right? Just that. And in my recent loot, I'm gonna it's already there. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. And ultimate immersion toggle is not something. And then yet another something, something, something. What is this? Yet another. I don't know. I don't see. So it's very interesting. So, oh, last thing. Sorry, guys. Real quick here. All right, this is probably one of okay, very slow. All right, at least this set to very slow. I always give it a chance. I at least always give it a chance in the beginning when I start. Not a fan. Not a fan of that mod whatsoever. There's nothing you can tell me to make me believe it's an actual mod that is needed in my game for me to play through. Stress and then reason being isn't because I don't believe in stress and fear all being a factor in how you do things and what you're able to do. The mod itself does not work satisfactorily enough for me. It doesn't work at all. And it is overtaxing and the calculations are way off. And what it does is it gets into the game and then it just takes over everything as far as your mana, stamina, and to the point where at some point in the game, usually a few hours in, you are always stressed, you are always in fear, and it has a negative impact on everything, and it's consistent, and it's like even when I'm in a inn, chilling. I am stressed out and fearful, and my mana is half of what it would be normally, and then my stamina is impacted as well, severely impacted. And I agree that yes, there are situations and there should be stress and fear factors in the game. I'm just saying that the calculations and the way this mod works is overkill and it doesn't work properly. So I always take it out. It isn't because I don't agree with it, because I absolutely 100% do agree that there needs to be something. I just think it needs to be done better than what we see here. So it's not even, has nothing to do with whether I believe in stress and fear. As a matter of fact, yeah, put that in my game, along with survival. I will not play on vanilla survival in Skyrim for sure, right? And the main reason is because I don't like the way vanilla survival works or is handled, and it's too problematic, especially when it comes to just simple eating of food. Not all the food works to restore your hunger, or to I want to say replenish your hunger. So, and it's like if you put in other mods, it really does impact that. So unless I see something like Sunheim or something like that, usually me and survival don't get along very well. So you can see I moved some things over, and it did not work the way that we really wanted it to work. So I would have to go back, and then there's a whole mess of things that I would, it wasn't, they're not all connected together. And it is very possible, well, it is selected, so, but it's very possible that what I just didn't make much of a difference at all. All right. So you can see it only moved the actual widget for the player. All those other items did not move with it. So I'm like, screw it. I'll just leave it. Right. And so I'm okay. And you can see a little bit of redundancy there as well. You can see down below at the very bottom, it says my carry weight is 152 out of 307. But then we see over here to the left, it says 152 out of 306. And then there's something that says 272. I believe that's how much gold. So it's in two different places in there. So, but I'm not really going to sweat it.
Destiny calls you. Go to it.
So, this is what I prefer. Now, this one has a nice bit of options. This one I don't, it's not that I don't like it. What it does is there's a mine just outside of Whiterun, over to the northwest of Whiterun. More west, but kind of north of Whiterun. And there's a pit that'll drop that if you fall into it, it puts you right down in the mine, but off in this little cave. There's a dead body there. Takes half your health away. You can loot the body. You can get some healing potions and stuff like that. But remember, it puts you in the mine already with all these bandits, and they will attack you. You are a low level character that, depending on how much health you get back from the healing potions, you're half health, and the chances of survival, especially someone who isn't as good as I am, well, not isn't as good, who is as not good as I, well, how do you say it? Someone who's not as good of a player, like I'm not a good player, you know, that isn't going to sit there and, battle my way out of it. I'm going to die repeatedly over and over again. And so if you're not really good at it, guess what's happening? You're just dying in the pit, right? Because you're gonna get overwhelmed. The same with the bounty hunter. You're sent off to a place, and these guys are all higher level kills. They're not all level one like yourself, and you're gonna die, right? Um, Out in the wilderness, I don't know. Saved by vigilance. That's roadside ambush. You're attacked immediately by three different bandits, right? They're supposedly all level one like yourself. I've yet to actually beat them, but then there's more bandits waiting for you if you do survive. And then I want to say I've yet to beat them, but I did beat them once and ran into or did I escape them? That's a better thing. I didn't kill them all, but as I was trying to escape them, I just ran into more of their bandit party, and of course, still died. And it was consistent. So these are, in my opinion, higher level, and these are ones for people that are really good already. I'm as I've got over 4,000 hours in Skyrim Special Edition, and I'm not good still. You know what I mean? I play with a goddamn controllers. Come on, all right. Um, my personal favorite are these two: Left for Dead and Shipwrecked, and I usually always pick Shipwrecked. Now, if I pick Shipwrecked, sometimes the first thing I find that I need to do is turn off survival mechanics, because if the survival mechanics are on and they're extreme, you will die. So what I do is I usually choose my option, save. I'll go into settings, gameplay, and then I'll look. So that's controller. Survival mode is not on. I go to novice, man. Right? I don't know how difficult this game is going to be. I want auto save every 15 minutes in character menu right here. I'm not turning this on until I get out of of the what's the name, and then we can turn it on. I love survival mode when I have the proper um things added to the game to make survival mode work as it should, or as we want it to. So I'm not against survival mode. As a matter of fact, generally, it doesn't feel good to play without it. In truth, now the other thing too is that really will impact our carry weight too. Now we're carrying way more stuff than we should be able to. So we open the door, and then we're gonna step out. Now, key thing here, I saved to make sure that if this was a bad idea, and I'm gonna go to first person, and this is where I thought I was gonna end up. Oh, we'll take that for sure. Night robes. I don't know what night robes is gonna do for us. So we still have all the stuff that we came. Ooh, that is gonna come in handy. I'm not gonna use it right now. I'm gonna come down here, and oh, I didn't want that. I wanted that as empty. God dang it! Now you can see there's stuff over here. There is a person that maybe let's. Ooh, okay. Boom, boom. Um, Night robes. All right, here. Let's get up out of here. So you have to kind of go at this, and I'm sorry about how dark it is in here. Unfortunately, I'm used to going through here when it's a little bit lighter out. So you kind of want to investigate everywhere, see what you can find. A lot of stuff that I'm gonna find around here, but I want to make sure. And I don't want to go there yet. because we haven't finished in here. The potions, and that is the very first thing I want to look at. All right, so you see how? All right, so maybe we already have. All right, so I'm going to. All right, we're gonna hopefully. Okay, okay, all right, all right. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. I get tired of the. It's going to take time to learn the spell or whatever. I'm like, I understand. It adds, it adds more realism and everything like that. But guess what? We're playing a video game. Okay? I mean, if if I'm willing to, suspend the idea that, you know, or accept, yeah, homine, you're given the spell just from reading the book instead of needing to spend hours to study it. When we're sitting at a table with pen and paper, yeah, and we're camping at that night, yeah, then we can learn our spells. We can, roll to see if we successfully did it or whatever. If you want to put that element in there, say, okay, you're trying to learn the spell, it was a success. No, it wasn't. Does it destroy the book? No. Okay, but you just have to try again another time. And then could it be related to your magic ability, your other, stats? Yeah, sure. Well, I'm all for that. But am I like, okay, 4 hours have expired in the game while you try to learn that spell? Or do you want to take 4 hours to learn it? I'm like, no. And I will always opt no. So it's like, it's a video game. That's not the whole premise of this game in the first place. Let's not just go overboard with it. So I wanted to come down through here. Let's take that bread. Let's get that cheese. Let's see if we can get as much stuff as we can. There's some healing potions. Boom. Some soap. Soap. All right. So, unfortunately, I didn't do what I was supposed to do in the first place. But I'm going to take that because guess what? I put myself in a bad position. Anyway, that was in there. That means I need to find another potion before I leave here. Where's my cooked turnip? All right, let's go. I'm spending way too much time. Will it last forever? No, it will not. Okay. And then, do I need to do that? I don't. Not while I still. Oh, hide. Don't need that. Take the light shield though. Chicken eggs, definitely. All right, gold, soap, another potion. All right, let's get down here. Come on. Gold. There we go. Wait, did I end up back in the same place? God dang it. Alright. So, let's go back here. I wanted to favorite these. Alright. So I ended up back in the same place. I didn't want to be in the same place. There is an out. Where's the out door? Okay. Here it is. Now, you're saying, is that it? Was that everything? No. And yes, I'm a little annoyed with myself because I. It wasn't until I hit that door I kind of panicked. All right, wait. See, you see this? All right, and it won't let you do that. So we just have to hope not to die. You see, it wouldn't let me take the potion. I tried. Now, can I take the potion and go back down there? I probably could, but I'm not going to. There was a chest in that room with. If you get to the door, if you just look back to your left in the back corner of that room there, that area there is a chest. Now, why do I not turn on survival yet? All right, so here's like, you know what? Because we're in the water, we would freeze to death. The freezing to death is tied to our health, right? And so we would die before we ever got to shore. What does that mean for us, right? Well, we should do a better job of getting to shore. Yeah, we should. But there is not a way to get to shore easily or quickly. And then we're going to end up in water. We got to go through the water no matter what. Oh, dang. Alright, so we're just going to go here. And as soon as we get to shore, we can turn survival on and see how that actually works for us. I'm not mad at what I'm seeing, right? I love the character model, right? I like the way our character looks, and it didn't take much for us to get there. God dang it! Now we're okay. As soon as we get to shore here, all right. So me, having played this, probably knowing you guys too, probably know exactly where we are. And then when we decide to go this route, we know that there's our cursor. It's hard to see, but we can see. Oh shoot! All right, hold on. We're gonna die. I just need to save this and hope that somehow we don't. That completely ruins our plan. So the goal is to get to Dawnstar. So there's a high seeker and there's some sort of woman or person. I don't know if that's a zombie or not. All right, let's go see if the wolves kill us first. I don't think we can beat this high seeker. Okay. That tells me we didn't hit anything. That's whipped me. I was expecting to just completely get dismembered here, and holy cow! All right. I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at the the archery part though. Man, we didn't hit like a single shot, did we? Okay, does that give us the confidence that we need to go and pick a fight with the Seeker? I think it does, and that's a shame because we shouldn't have any kind of confidence in fighting the Seeker. Alright, so they see us, obviously. I don't know who this is. I might be shooting a innocent bystander. You see where the cursor's pointing, but then you see where the sneak bar is at? Okay, we gotta get in there.
You think you stand a chance?
We got no stamina left. I don't even know who Mora is, but she didn't stand a chance. All right, hold up. Where's our There we go. There we go. All right. What do you got on? All right. What if she was supposed to be somebody we was supposed to partner with? Why do I ask that, or why do I say that? Because check it out. Where was it? Teleports more to the player. Okay, I gotta be honest with you. All right. Yes. Well, it might just crash the game doing it this way. Um, but why is she just hanging out on the ship where the High Seeker is? Why? Okay. All right. Hold on. We're not even messing. All right. Let's see what she has to say. Okay, so she is going to attack.
Damn you!
Okay. Why is she attacking us? And where's the High Seeker? All right. This crate is empty. Lockpick. Ring. Gold ingot. Gold ingot. Ingot. Locked. Oh. Okay. Don't mind if I do. Daughter of the Sea Crafting Manual. Yes, please. Oh, yes, please. On the gold and the leather. Okay, we'll take the leather. More. Maybe I can sell it. Ooh, Radiant Sunbeam. Deals 20 damage per second to the undead. Did I learn that? I think I did. Alright, this one is... I don't think it's... I don't know. What's the green stuff? Is that her hand? Holy cow. Okay. Oh. Okay. There's a lot of soap around. So cleanliness is obviously the thing. See? How much soap does one person need in this? Oh, more soap. And there's a bloodstain. Oh. Mm-hmm. Hey, we'll take that. We'll take that. Alright. There's a wraith. Hey. It's not too late to save, just in case we need to get up out of here. We managed to get all that we can. And now we just need to get on up out of here. Alright, so the wraith is inside. You didn't see what we did to your friend. Or are you in the ship? Look at all this soap. Wash it. Cool. Are you in here? I know I'm all discombobulated with the slant of the ship. I don't want to go in here now. I don't know that I need to have a reason to go in there at this point. We killed more. Am I feeling guilty about that? Yes, I think I am. But she attacked us. And this great guy, I don't know where he got from. But if he's down in the ship, then you know what? We can stay. Dawnstar. Okay, we'll take that. We'll take that. We'll take that. Why am I taking so many notes? Because in the end, when we get to Dawnstar, we're gonna be able to do some stuff. We got a long way to go before we get to Dawnstar, so might as well just go. That was cool, though. That was cool. Right now, I'm gonna say third-person bow sucks, but that's probably because we haven't figured it out yet. But shooting with bow in third person, kind of not fun. We'll take that. We'll take that. We'll take that as well. Oh, we'll definitely take that. Okay. What's our weight? All right. So let's get in here and let's take a look at some of this stuff. Right. This way. There it is. Okay. So one. Ancient Ring, Moonlight Tales Mini. I'm not gonna put that on as much as I want to. I'm not putting that on. I think which one's better? I think that one might be better. It sure is. So we'll put that, and then, and then we'll favorite that. And then we'll also equip that and favorite it. Let's see what we look like. Oh, look at that. I'm not a huge fan of it, but I ain't mad at it either. Looks like she's in like very tight, form-fitting dress that keeps her legs moving it when she's trying to run. So let's see. Oh my gosh. Holy cow. All right. So, we already got one of those. Those, something like that. All right, we'll pick I want that book. Waters All right. Ooh. All right, we want this. Ooh. For sure. Definitely. Dude. What in the world? All right, hold on. Take that. Take that. Okay. Let's crouch down. Let's go back to first person. Let's crouch down. Okay. Let's see what else is down here. Alright. Now, the immersive first person, you see that thing right there in the upper right corner? Alright, so that's something that we have on us. That's just going into our view. It's actually kind of annoying. Alright, this is what I wanted to test. Not a, not a fan still right at this moment about it, right? Because it's like a couple of those shots. Just I don't know. I don't know. It's gotta. I gotta get used to it. But it seems, in truth, to work better in first person than it did and than it does in third. So here's the thing. Like I'm gonna shoot at this crate. Did it? I mean, did it go where it was supposed to? It seemed like there was no force behind it. It seemed, well, yeah, it did where it was supposed to. Empty crate, but hey, quicksilver ore. We'll pick those. We already have a pickaxe. All right, so this is technically our last stop. We're not going to that cave over there. There's usually a troll there. We're not going to go mess with the troll. I lucked out in beating Mora, and lucked out in the fact that whoever she was there with decided to go down below, and so we didn't have to deal with it. Took the Gouda, potato. What was it? I took a couple bottles. I don't need those. Oops. Dang it. All right. Get that. We'll take that. Where am I on weights? We took 51. All want the blessings in case it allows me, cures me of disease or whatever. All right. So right off the bat, one of the things that we're gonna do right now is we're just gonna put. So these are options. We can make that. Okay. We can roast a potato, and then roast up some garlic if you want. Let's see what it does. It gave us 5 roasted garlic. Okay. See that light up over there? So something is there that we could find. Maybe we should check it out at some point. But right now, we stay to the shore. Even though there is supposedly a camp right here, I just don't know who would be staying. I don't know that anybody's out. You see, everything's all jittery right now, too. I'm going to open this one. Since we managed to survive all the crazy stuff that we decided to do. I've never seen like actual ships trying to actually sail about in and out of the bay here. Holy cow. Alright. Well, peace to you. You get very dingy here though. Very foggy.
Thank you for sticking by me.
Where else would I go? Dawnstar is my home and working here is my job.
It's good to hear you say that.
Alright.
I wish
Now,
my wife was as simple as you.
I'll just take that as a compliment.
do this. I always collect, and you'll see when I'm playing, I collect tons of blue mountain flower. Why? Because it can be mixed with saber cat eyes. It can be mixed with rock warbler eggs. It can be mixed with butterfly wing, not blue butterfly wing, but just butterfly wing. It could be mixed with blisterwort, wheat, any one of those things to create healing potions. So it is like the universal mixer with a ton of stuff that will make healing potions for you. And so someone like myself who needs that quite a bit, it's a huge, huge thing. All right, so now when I come here to Dawnstar, and then when I come here to Dawnstar, I don't usually try to stay here very long, and this is a thing I'm not a fan of, but we'll make do right now, and I'm sorry for this. Is the lighting in the caves are extremely, so far, this is extremely dark. I would prefer it to be just a little bit lighter, even if you have to add certain points of light to make it brighter inside. So I come in here, what's our weight? All right. And you can see right here, Ring of the Major Pugilist, you can sell that. Hide boots, cowhide, we use that. Shovel we don't need. There's some crates down here. If I wanted to, I could take the torch. Got this Leviathan diamond, so that is a kind of a little bit of a mini game that's been added. Get the helmet out of the way. I want the black seed bread and what the other ingredients. So when we do, because we're about to turn it on, and then 2 lockpicks from that other chest down. Up here, that's about it. But since we're up here, there's already somebody up here, so we're not gonna worry about it. We got some cooked beef, clam meat, and then right here, mammoth. We'll jump down. And then we'll run over here. Grab this guy too. Now, here's the thing that I say about. Ooh, look, there's more. All right, so nice. All right, I'm just gonna investigate back here. This is okay. That's just all it is. There's no. Does it look like there? This actually looks like a passageway, doesn't it? Um. Okay. And then, like, so it's hard to see where you're going. And so let's get out of here and jump into something. There we go. Let's get up here. The reason I come up here is just to look. I mean, I believe there's another vein right here. And then off to the left there's going to be a couple more crates that I can investigate and see if there's loot there that I can go after. And then, so what am I doing right here is, oh, we got a fossil too. All right. So there's a cross leg marker, which just tells me that's a, what do you call it? Idle spot. So there's the other crate. There's a bucket in it here. Ring of the Minor Champion. You know, if I had come looking, I wouldn't have found that. And then we can go ahead and take a look there. Now, when we see the ring and you see the, now, a lot of times you see this ring here, and then you see this one, they all have the same kind of icon to them, right? And then they all have that. So it is possible. So if I go here, and then here, see, sometimes if you see it and the ring looks differently, and sometimes it'll have an icon for the normal ones like this, and then like this, and sometimes you can't wear multiple of these, but that's not the case here, so that's good. Now, the seaside scale armor, we're gonna have to investigate that one too. See what it looks like. But you can see it looks like, oh, look at that. So we'll have to take a look and see what that looks like. But now we need to get up out of here. Hope Legleaf is still out here. Okay. Now, I do not like to play vampire or werewolf as part of my character. If I ever get bitten and infected with the, curse, I usually, that becomes the main focus of my playthrough to get rid of the curse. And sometimes what I'll end up doing is going to a save point before. Now, this is something I don't like. Right,
What is it? I haven't had much sleep.
Oh, well, too bad.
I'll buy everything you've dug up.
Well, I appreciate it. All right, thank you. 350 just for that.
Until next time.
Now,
If you don't mind me saying, Lega, you're working too hard. Go home.
Never. Not until we turn
Lega?
this mine around. Drive Baytild out of business.
Okay.
And force her to
Himbo.
apologize to
I'm
me
not a
for
fan of
everything she's
Himbo.
done.
What is
right?
this feud
The
you have
body
with your
morphs
wife?
and everything.
What started this?
They just don't look
I don't want to talk
realistic,
about it.
or
You don't want
good
to
to
talk
me.
about it, or you don't know?
they get a little
I don't want to
too
talk about it.
overly dumpy looking. Oh wait, don't get that ingot. Still ingot. See, one of the things very common, you find a lot of water breathing necklaces, and it's like, how many do you need? You know what I mean? Pretty much one will work. So, as you can see here, I do a lot of picking flowers. Right? One thing that I do appreciate is there's no extra animation for that. I don't see the reason to add it. I mean, and then I always point out, as an example, if you were to play KCD, right? One of the mods that you add in playing it is one to get rid of the animation for picking, when you're picking flowers and such. And it's like, yeah, it's cool the first 5 to 6 times you do it. The 100th time you've done it, you are so annoyed and aggravated at that point. It's like, I'm just gonna stop picking flowers, you know. And it's like, I don't necessarily need to see that animation anymore. And that's really what it comes to. It's like, yeah, I know, we can ring the realism bell, you know, over and over again until we're blue in the face. But at some point, there's also the annoyance bell that gets rung. It's like, show me the animation the first 5 times and then turn it off. You know, make it so that an animation will only play 5 times for you, and then it turns off. That way you can see it. You can see it a couple of times, right? Get used to it. Not get used to it, but admire it. Say, okay, I see what's going on here. All right, I understand. And then after that, I don't need to see it anymore, because that is the amount of patience we have. That's where we're at, patience-wise. We don't need to see things over and over and over and over again. It's like, God dang, man. All right. Now, here's the other thing. Survival is not turned on. So, now, I know there's a realism thing here and everything, and it's cold, so yeah, our character should be cold right now. But if I don't have survival turned on to where we are actually experiencing the cold, then I don't want to see it. You know what I mean? I really don't want to see it. All right, so the first thing we're going to come down here and do is this. There's a lot of crafting manuals, apparently, that can be crafted. I'm going to come down here. We're going to take down that horse hide, cow hide, both bear pelts. I have leather armor that I am no longer wearing, but I don't know that I'm not going to wear it. So let's break down the wolf pelts. I'm going to leave 2 for now. Hide boots, we're not going to wear those, so I can break those down. I can break down the leather bracers. Studded armor, I'm not going to wear. Leather boots, nope. All right, and then we have 2 leather helmets, not wearing either. And then hide bracers. All right. Now, for me, and you can see there's tons of extra added stuff in here, and I totally appreciate and I love it actually. Yes, right. We don't have time to go through everything here. Twilight Princess catalog. I want to know what that does, right? But for right now though, I need this one. I need the back right, back left, and to be on the safe side, we're gonna go that way. And then right off the bat, I'm going to take a look. How much? I have 20 leather. Okay, so Princess Aries, I'm gonna make this one, and I'm gonna make that one. Okay, and then the reason I did that is because I didn't want to expend all my leather right off the bat. Look at all the stuff that these are all just crafting manuals. Let's get up here. I don't want clothing. I want to see. So right now I have the armbands I can make, and then I have pants I can make. Now I can't make the dress because I don't have a Deidre heart. I don't have, so you can see here, all these things require a Deidre heart. Okay. And then Daenerys boots we can make if we want to. I'm not going to. We can come back over here. We can see your arms, leather, right? So we got Daenerys boots and Daenerys pants, right? And then you have the Yakuta armband, right? And then we can come over here and say, okay, here's all the stuff that can be made. All this is non-armor stuff, so we'll stop there. What I'm going to do first is we're going to equip these guys. That just gets my carry weight to a certain point. And then we're going to come down here, and then we're going to find those manuals that we created. So this one, all right. And then now I'm not saying that it's going to make it so that we can, but and it's crafting manual required in inventory. So it says required in inventory. So, and then we're going to come back here, and I'm not expecting it to do anything here per se necessarily, right? But what I am going to do is I'm going to switch over here now. And then we're going to come down here, and I don't know that ooh. Shotgun shells? Seriously? It's a cool sword, but we're not gonna arm. Okay. So you have the adventure coat, which is cool. You do have the Altmary leather armor, which is kind of cool. Ancient Draugr underwear. Okay. So now you have a desert sorceress dress, right? Gloves, heels, panties, right? Let's look at this hinterland ranger boots, bracers. So what I'm gonna do though is this: make it a little easier on myself by doing it this way. It put, I'm gonna say, probably the higher level stuff, more expensive stuff at the top, so we can see it right away. Can't see anything here, but you carry weight. So this is a leg pocket. All right, it takes 3 leather strips and 4 leather. Something to consider, but it only increases our carry weight by 10. So you got, this is one, because we bought that book. Lady Morag boots, adventure coat. This is the best, and then you can see more, right? And then look at this. Which chains? Now I don't know what it looks like, because you can see it doesn't really give you any kind of detail or any. It just shows you leather armor, right? So Wild Huntress bra, skirt, right, and then the Shino Tribal Huntress belt. Da, 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 da. So here's what I'm gonna do, right? So I am still gonna take 2 leather for that.
Some good armor you've put together.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for noticing. What we are gonna do is this. I'm going to how many letters? 4. Okay. I'm gonna make that. Red belt, the bronze, or that. All right, how many need that? 4 and 2. So I'm gonna make that, and then I think, okay. And then, I think I'm gonna leave. I think we're just gonna. Here we go. What is that? No, no. Okay, so now that we got those, right? And like I said, I don't like that the animation is showing when we don't have the survival mechanics on. So first things first, right? Let's go ahead and take a look at this. Okay, so you need a top with that. All right, so we won't be wearing that one very often. Let's take a look at this guy. All right, so that's what the seed scale armor looks like, right? It's cool. Not mad at it. All right, so we're gonna put the cloak on. Wait, I want to look at this one first. And if you're wondering what I'm doing right now, is see the chains. So you could have made a no chain version of this dress. What I'm doing is I'm going up to the end, and I'm going to hope there's proper
Who do
lighting
you
at the
think we're
end.
threatening with our old war rooms? We're not soldiers anymore.
Why am I going to the end? So I can get next to a fireplace and be warm. You can't really look at these items properly if you're just, shivering and trying to, stay warm when you're technically not even cold because survival hasn't been turned.
Come on
yet.
in. Let me know if you need
It's a curse.
anything, or take
It
a
has
seat
to
by
be.
the fire,
I
and I'll
gotta
send
get out of
someone
this
over.
town.
Okay.
Irignir, get a hold
Apparel,
of yourself.
you look,
They're just
you look pretty hot.
dreams. Please tell her, Erandor.
Listen to your friend, Fruki.
Delete
They
it.
are just dreams, my dear. I assure you that it is quite normal.
All right.
It's the
I
same
think we
dream
both
over
deserve a
and
little
over.
So
again.
this,
You
How
think
about
that's
you
I
normal?
ain't mad at it.
It's evil, I tell
It's
you.
not bad.
How can I
Erandor,
argue?
All right. So let's take a look. That's the witch chain dress. Let's take a look at this
the
one.
point.
All right.
You
So
keep
yeah,
telling
that,
us no harm will follow
just
these
this one.
dreams.
it's all right. I mean, it's intriguing. More than likely though,
They must
Okay.
be an old.
This is gonna
Give
work
him a chance to speak.
for now.
He's trying to help
All
us.
right, got the little
You
cloak,
have such
Please.
interesting tastes.
I'm doing
I
what
might
I
have to
can
explore
to
the
end
leather.
these nightmares.
you know.
Maybe after
In the
another.
I
meantime,
like the fit,
all I ask
everything about
is
it.
you remain strong.
I really
Okay.
need to start
Your
saving up
trust
for a
in
farm
Lady
of my
Mara.
own. Somewhere
So
quiet, where I can raise a
that's
family.
how we're
in
going
peace.
on that one. We can get a room. Whoa. Hey,
Here.
Jane.
Something I want you to have. Now, don't
I mean, you don't have
embarrass
shoes
either
on.
of us by saying something sappy. Just
I should
Take it.
probably start carrying
Thank
some
you so
sort of
much.
weapon,
That's
just
very
in case
kind
one
of you.
those drunk
I won't
perverts
forget
gets a
it.
bit too handsy.
And who are you?
This life may not be glamorous or exciting, but it's all mine now.
Yeah? Who are
I
you?
know that look. You take a look.
Alright, so she sells a bunch of stuff. How much money you got? I think she has 1257. Is that am I reading that correct? And if I wanted to sell her stuff, this is all the stuff she would buy for me. Okay. Oh, look at this. Look at all this stuff. Man. Oh, beef stew. Alright. Thank you.
Until next time.
Yeah, beef. Hey. Oh, you sell stuff.
take a
too.
look.
Oh, look at you. Alright, so you okay, her gold is over here in the lower left hand corner. She's got 360. We're the ones with 1270. And then you can see here's all the things that we could sell to her, like this one here, candlelight. We already know it, so we can sell it. These other ones here we don't necessarily need. We could sell to her. Fine boots, fine clothes. I wanted to get down to here and sell off those two, and then maybe these two, and obviously anything else we want to sell off. She doesn't really have the money, but we can sell these two if we want. Okay. Thank you.
Till next time.
All right.
Good morning.
What's so good about it?
Oh, well, good day. I do love it when they try to resist, but come on now. Who could resist these curves?
Who are you? Oh, what do you have to say?
Take a look.
Oh look, list award. Okay. As a matter of fact, I would purchase a couple of bottles of that. And one of those. And then yeah, and then I don't know what I would have to really sell her that I wouldn't try to use except maybe this one. She has a lot. Okay. Let's
I'll
get out
take
of
my
here.
leave then.
I was wondering, Father.
I'm not nearly as strong as you, but I have the skills
Oh,
to
look
bring
at this.
any man to his knees as well.
Oh,
Why would I do that?
okay. Working girl. Okay.
It'll do you good.
Leaving already?
Maybe
Yeah.
you
I was
visit
just getting
Ergmir
comfortable.
or Fruity on your way out. I've seen them looking at you when they come in for drinks. Remember to keep my mouth
Why would they
shut
be
around
looking
that
at
guard.
me?
He
Okay.
always tries to catch me
Is
out
that
on
about the
something.
service?
All right.
Oh, never mind.
These drunks get louder and less charming every night, it seems.
Are these the immersive winches? They probably are the immersive winches. Right. Oh, there's seeking treasure hunters. So I gotta be honest with you. This, except for that immediate crash that we got right after character creation, I mean, it seems fairly stable right now, doesn't it? I mean, it seems like we're not having much of an issue. So here, there's a couple of things that you can do. I'm looking for the time. It's 7:35. So normally, oh deal. How are you? Can you let me possibly.
I've got a
Right,
bounty
story.
notice here, if you're interested. Comes with a pretty hefty reward.
That's nice. That is transgressions unknown. Did you
Need a room?
so
Don't
ask
worry.
about the bounty?
Nightmares
right?
don't seem to happen for travelers.
I'm not worried about a bath yet. I don't think we got
The beggar's
dirty yet.
humility
So you
trumps
said
charisma
something about a
can't
bounty.
compare to an
It's a
adventure.
bounty letter left here by the Thalmor. Take a look.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Hey,
I'm sorry. My mind was just somewhere else.
hey. I
Sure
wanna
thing.
Rent a
It's
room.
yours for a day.
Okay. That's it.
I'll show you to your room. Right this way.
Okay. Matter of fact, why don't I just meet you there?
I could use some new lingerie. Something lacy,
Ooh.
something black. The lads would love it.
Use some new lingerie. You go on. You go on with your bad self. I tell you. Unless you were telling me that so that you think I would. So this is gonna be our bed. Now I remember one time I tried to stay at the end when
Let
it
me
was
know if
done up
there's
like
anything
this,
else you need.
right? Because this is a mod that's changed up the end, and someone was in my bed, so I paid for it and I couldn't even use it. All right. So the way this works, I believe, is we go into wait mode, right? So now we're resting. And then I'm going to go until 6:58 a.m. So that's 11 hours? All right. So we
I've
just
heard
move
rumors about some of the
and
girls
that
wanting
gets
to
us
learn how to
out of
fight.
bed.
Maybe I should join them.
Um, so what I'm thinking.
I could use some new lingerie.
Ooh,
Something lacy, something black.
all right.
The
Let's roll on out of here. All right, it's now. Here's where we're having some issues. So, again, for me, I'm not a fan of this like shivering thing. I'm not even a fan of it when, say, survival is on and we are cold. So I am much less a fan of it when survival's not even turned on yet, right? Because what I would normally do is just turn that off. I know we're cold. I know we're shivering and everything, but just don't need to constantly see it. All right, now this is very interesting. I'm coming over here. You see this? You see this? Look at Carjo. Carjo's like looking way up there, like, dude.
Come and see what goods I offer. So many refuse to talk to us. They call us thieves and smugglers.
I just
I'm
want
glad to see that you are
can't help
not
myself.
such a one.
Yes. Well, I had to tell you, you are so absolutely pretty. You know, and I just can't help but feel, warm from mere sight of your silky fur. So I just needed to tell you that.
Your words are sweeter than moon sugar, friend. Khajiit is interested to hear more.
Wow. All right. Nice. Well, thank you. For now, though, I gotta go. So
Have I traveled to bring you these fine goods?
right now, you see
Come
how
and see what
glitchy
I
things
offer.
are getting, right? And not gonna say glitchy. I'm just gonna say stuttering. So there's a lot of stutter right now. I wanted to come out here and see if I can see that beam of light. There it is. I'm gonna save, and then we're gonna go to it. I just want to see what that is. Now, one of the things I have been saying as of late when I do these is, if you really want to know how you're going to feel about a mod list, you really do have to devote some time and effort into it, right? You can't, I mean, some lists you can play for like an hour and know right off the bat, yeah, this ain't for me. Just because all the stuff that it presents to you and hits you with in that hour just sucks. You know what I mean? But in truth, you know, some of these lists, you can also tell in an hour, I like it. You know what I'm saying? You can, you know, an hour or two, you can say, I like it. And it just continues to grow on you. But to get the true, I think, a true feel and true opinion on a list and how it's going, you want to spend some time in it. And look, we have a light source. I don't remember putting that there, but we do. So that's what these are. So shards of Skyrim, right? So we'll see lights and then we can absorb them. I have yet to actually ever absorb enough of them to really understand exactly what they do for me. So that is something that's intriguing and something to want to look into. Do I want to continue down this road? I think not, but I keep seeing more and more flowers available, or, you know, Blue Mountain flowers. So of course I can't help but to keep picking them. Now, there's also a wolf up ahead, too. And so I think they're going to come at me in a minute. But if they do, they do. If they don't, they don't. Yeah, I'm not going to go pick a fight with them right now. I don't need to. I came for what I wanted. But so what I like to do in these cases here is, if I can get the list to stay and stable, you know, to stabilize and run for a little bit, my goal is to get about 10 hours into the list, right? Doing the things, and it isn't just to see everything that it has to offer, because you can't, right? I mean, there's 100 hours of stuff you can do in Skyrim, right? More so. And then, which we'll get, and then I'll talk a little bit more on that in just a moment. So what I think is, get 10 hours in doing the things that I like to do when I start up a new game, right? Start up a character, start up a new game, and see just how invested I get into the character, how invested I am into the systems that you're playing, and then basically kind of give myself an idea, like, yeah, I want to keep playing this character. Yeah, I want to keep playing this list, because it really does have a lot of things that I'm enjoying, and there just a lot of things, you know, down the line that I can't wait to see how it progresses, and, you know, to dig deeper into these particular features of the list. So if I can get this list to cooperate with me, I am hoping to get at least 10 hours in here before we decide, you know, one way or the other. Is this a good list? Is it stable enough? You know, what is it really offering us, and things like that. Again, we are looking at it, and I did, like I said, I did pick um, the performance version or the performance profile, right? So this is using community shaders and not ENBs. Again, there's a back and forth on that. Some people like ENBs, some people prefer community shaders, and the reasons are, I would say, kind of valid both ways, right? One argument is that leading towards the community shaders, it gives you more stability, right, and more better performance with the playing the game, and EMBs look better or are considered to look better, and but they are performance drains. They're a drain on the performance. They are CPU and GPU intensive. So welcome, except for him, he can go F a skeever. Seriously. So first thing we're gonna do though while we're here is survival mode. We're gonna hit that on. It's gotta save. I'm gonna go here, and then I'm actually gonna pick this save and save over it. Right? Survival mode is now in play. So that's one of the last things we'll look at before we're done with this session. And I can promise you, as long as it loads up and plays again, there will be more, and we will see more of this, right? And right off the bat, I can tell you I am really enjoying it this time around. The first time around, there was a lot of stuff that was intriguing. There's a lot of cool stuff that was in it. It wasn't stable for me. I couldn't get it to run like it is now. Like I said, I'm a little smarter now, a little bit more savvy, and just understand exactly what I'm doing a little bit better. So level up. See what that looks like. I can get behind this, right? One of the things that I would like to see, and this is kind of like me, the cheater in me, but what I would like to see is kind of a Requiem like thing where you get 3, 4, 5. Me, I'm okay with anywhere from 3 to 6 perk points to start. Right? Unless you're supposed to be some complete total novice with no experience whatsoever, it doesn't hurt, to say, okay, we have a little bit of a background. We have, we know a little something, something. Here, let me, 3, 4, 5, 6 perk points, to start out. Perfect. Right. So that's where I'm at there on that feeling. And then I know I could go into the what's the name and do it, but did you see that it didn't give me the option to level up? It's stuck. Did you notice that? Can we go back? Level up, right? All right, level up. Wait. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. Maybe I'm misunderstanding. We rested, so this is what I want to do. I don't think I have any perk points to use. Yeah, I don't have any. It's not asking me to level up. We rested. It didn't give me the option to level up when we woke up. And we can see over in the left-hand corner, I have 304 experience, and I only require 100. So that is something we want to take a look at as well, and kind of figure out exactly what could be causing that. All right, so slow eating. I'm gonna disable that, right? Out of stamina expression. Fine. This is good schema. Sneaking expression. I don't know what that really does. drunk, cold. Okay, so I would disable that, and honestly, if there was a disable here, I would just put it on disable. But I'd want this, and then here's a problem, and what I found, and it may work this time around. So when I come out of here, it doesn't stop. So again, like I said, if there was a in that drop down, if there was a disable there, just so that this stops, because I don't want to see it. And didn't I just go into the menu and disable it? So that is something that I think really bugs the crap out of me. Code region behavior. All right, so let's go ahead and see. So maybe there's a different thing here. Click this box to enable, disable mod features. I don't know what that means. Code clothing settings. Protected. This page is currently locked. Frozen settings is locked. Code breath settings. It's all locked, right? And it's probably locked until I click this to enable the mod. I don't think the mod is enabled, right? So that's not even enabled. Okay, Code Sons Carolyn. I don't know what the F that is. Conditional expressions, right? Isn't that what we just did? Yeah, we disabled that. We disabled that. And, right, your character will react to being cold depending on your cold manager mod. I disabled that. I said, no, I don't want that. Right? Didn't matter. So I can come back over here. Breathing sounds. Right? Nope. Maintenance. Status active. All right. Please exit. All right. I'm trying to get it to update. Maybe that's what it needs. Nope. That's not. Didn't do anything. Give it a minute to see if that changes at all. But yeah. So that's one thing that would be aggravating after a while is the amount of time that I will end up spending trying to get rid of that effing idol right there. Let's see. I don't know. Enabled in first person. Yeah. Let's see. Let's see. What I'm also looking for, and in truth, go to bed. We got that. So in here, so this is the ultimate conversation camera. So this isn't, anything other than that. Keep it clean. Legendary enemies. Safe save system overhaul. All right. Simple smithing, simply balanced. Sky UI. Sleep tight. Right? Robe, chest, whatever. Smart NPC potions. Smooth cam. I do want to see. Where are you? There you are. I do want to see what that looks like when I go back. All right, static skill, re-leveling. All right, so one of the things, and then I will say this, skill level ups per level limit. I'm not a fan of that, but I'll always increase it to 10. Now, these. I'm the one that, yeah, obviously I can't leave well enough alone. So I always go down and yeah, I'm going to reduce and increase and whatever's, right there. All right, so survival control panel, right? Warmth settings, main. All right, so HUD indicators always enabled. Love it, right? Keywords, sleep to level up is default, right? So that means, yeah, right? Warmth settings, they're in play. Equipment, all this stuff is in play. All right. TNG, yeah, we're not really worried about TNG, right? It can, whatever the default settings for that is, because it's not something that we're really going to be looking at in the game. So you got that. The tools of, right? I don't know exactly what that is, but apparently nothing that really matters right now. Trade and barter, we don't usually mess with it. I don't necessarily. Okay, as long as if it's not adjusting anything. The one thing I don't really care for is sometimes you'll do this and you'll see the in rates go way up there. So True HUD, UBG redone. All right, that's oh my gosh, unread books glow, which is fine. Ultimate immersion toggle just is the UI. So you have your combat. I don't know what this various states of undress. Yeah, not worried about that. Wait carriage and ends. Wait your turn. Wet function redux. Widget add-on. So as you can see, and then let's go up here. Even though it looks like we got all the way to the end, we got all the way to Y. Menu made. Okay, so that's just menu made. Okay. So right now, as it stands, I mean, this is interesting, right? This is their defeat mod, which is cool. If that's, now me personally, and then we can go round and round and we can talk about it, but sometimes, the overall dynamic of the game in which you end up killing all of your enemies, everything, instead of having some sort of mechanic that allows you to disable, have enemies run away, have, it's always a fight to the death. Every single encounter is always to the death of someone. Instead of there being some sort of mechanic where you can disable, you can defeat the other, your enemy, and that should be enough, instead of having to outright kill them every time. And to me, that argument can lead into the same with the overall economy, and in how you constantly, especially in where you loot the dead and grab all their gear and come back and sell it. Next thing you know, there's whining or complaining about, I'm too rich. I got rich too quick. Well, you got rich too quick because the overall mechanic of the game, the whole way the game is structured, is you kill and loot. And instead of, well, you defeat and then maybe only loot what's lootable. But then what we do, we go out and we create mods to make it so that we can loot everything. And it's like, well, yeah, but if you stab someone in the heart through their armor, that ruins the armor until you repair it. So it should be in a state of disrepair, and not in a pristine state that could be sold, for all this money. So it's like, yeah, I got to repair this. And then some things might not be repairable, right? Depending on what kind of destruction you went through. And if you kill someone with a fireball that burnt them to a crisp, their armor is not going to be lootable, right? But we constantly demand and require that. And then we complain that we got rich too quick. The economy's jaded. And it's like, well, then there's also the carry weight option, right? It's like, well, money should have weight to it. Well, yeah, except for the fact that if you have to carry around 20, 30 1,000 pieces of gold coins in order to buy anything of worth in the world, right? If you're playing Fallout, you got to carry around 10, 15,000 bottle caps. One single bottle cap may not weigh a whole lot, but thousands of them will. And it's like, so it's the overall dynamic and mechanic of the game that makes it so that you can't have 100% complete realism, is what I kind of constantly, you know, believe over and over again. So yeah, it's like, well, a lot of times what we attack in, mods that try to fix the economy and stuff like that, is we attack the prices of things as opposed to the overall mechanic of how you acquire items and put items together. And it's like, well, something should be priced out of range because it's so much effort to get into it, but it shouldn't be something that you should readily be able to get as far as a loot drop or something like that. And even in a game like Starfield, right off the bat, right out of the box, you weren't able to loot everything off of someone. And it's us that we created mods so that, yeah, their spacesuits would be lootable. And then the idea is the spacesuit now is in great condition and can be sold for thousands of credits. And it's like, well, if you shoot someone, it should be riddled with holes, at least one, and not resellable until it's repaired. So it shouldn't, you know what I mean? But so what do? You nerf the price, and you're like, okay, well, we can nerf the price, but I could just put it on and use it, you know what I mean? And sell you the one I have. And then it's like, nerfing all the prices, what does that do? Because you nerf the sell prices, but then you raise the buy prices to the point where, and it's like, well, that isn't an acceptable way either. So yeah, I got to get off my soapbox there. So, yeah, there's a lot going there. There's a lot to unpack either way, and so part of me is, we have to figure out this leveling system. Why am I not able to level? We did sleep at the inn, and we slept in the bed overnight, and when I woke up, it didn't give me an option to level up. And now I don't have an option to level either. We do have the okay, right here. Is it right here? Right there. Okay, so right now, cold. We're comfortable, fatigued, we're refreshed, and we're fed. Okay. So those are all the things. So I think the loot mod, not loot mod, but the survival mod is in play and working, I think. I don't remember what our carry weight was before, but I do think our carry weight was reduced as a result of kicking off the survival mod. And this was just to smack me in the face, just to see her like that. Yeah, that was just to rub it in more that we have failed to shut off that idol. And yeah, see, that to me is unacceptable. So yeah, there are going to be things that are, like I said, we're going to discover and be frustrated by. The very first thing that we're going to be frustrated by is figuring out how to level. Because we've done it both ways now, right? We slept, was not given the option to level. We went into the menu and said, hey, can we level now? And you see, it is red. So the question is, did we miss it? And then that's the first thing I have to wonder is, did we miss it because when we first leveled up, we needed to go rest and level right there? And then now that we have 300 experience and only needed 100, did we level twice and now the game is not being able to register because it knows we need to level. We didn't level the first time we did, and now we need to level again for level 3. And you see how it hangs up in that menu? It hangs up in between, in that static state between, being up in the menu there and coming back. And that's a hang up. I have to manually hit the V button at the end to say get back into the real game, get back into the game. So that is something we're gonna have to figure out how to level. But for now, like I said, I'm actually pleasantly surprised at the stability so far. I'm not saying that it's great, but it's doing everything I want it to do. It's not crashing like, I've only had one crash. We've been playing for almost 2.5 hours. And the absence of all the animations except for this cold animation, which we will continuously try to figure out how to turn off. The stuttering is an issue, right? And leveling is now presenting itself as an issue as well. We do have survival mode turned on, so we will see exactly what that's going to do. One of the things we can test right off the bat is this. So when I come here, I can see the warmth value is there now, right? So this doesn't give you any warmth, but this does. So you can see this one is going to be better for being warm. So that's going to be a thing. That's going to be a real thing to have to contend with. Yeah, see, all these are terrible for warm. What is this one? It's 32. This one is 42. And if I'm not mistaken, this one here is 43, but its warmth is half this one. So let me switch that one again. So we're still cold no matter what. And I'm not happy about that. Well, I'm not happy about the item. Okay, we're cold. Yes, I know we're cold, right? But come on now. Last thing I need to do is running around shivering all the time. I don't want to see it. Right? We'll figure things out. But that is it. So guys, this is where we're going to leave it, and we will definitely be back because, like I said, I'm enjoying it. I'm very curious how other things are. Next time up, we're going to have to go get some companions, right? We're definitely going to have to do some more. We're going to have to try some stealth kills with a bow to see how that works out. So we're going to have to go find a dungeon to go into and try to clear out a little bit. Or cave, or someplace, We're just going to have to do a little hunting, see if we can get whatever. My next move, though, is going to be to get to Windhelm. Now, Windhelm is the second place that I usually, like I said, I'll do the shipwreck. I'll get here. I'll scavenge as much as I can here. Then I'll go to Windhelm, scavenge as much as I can there. There's some points and spots there where you definitely get some things, where some crates are. And then I'll go down to Kinesgrove, mine the malachite there, and sell that. Get some more money in my pocket. Also, there's some crates and stuff inside the mine that you can loot for some really good stuff there. And then that's when I actually start the game proper and head on over and usually get into a cart or something and head on over to Whiterun and check out Helgen and all those things and start seeing how things are going. So what I am curious about is that's probably the order of things that's going to happen. We're going to go loot what we can out of Windhelm, go down to Kai's Grove, loot what we can there, then get ourselves in a cart and go over to Whiterun, and then we're going to check the road between Whiterun and the Western Tower and see if we can find Marisi, right? Once we find her, then we have to decide who else are we going to pick up. I really would love to pick up Remiel. I just don't know if I want to go all the way out to Markarth or Markarth to go get her. You know, and if we go all the way over there, is there anyone else there for us? Do I want to go down to Falkreath? Not necessarily. I don't think I need to go down there just yet. I don't know of any other companions that we would bump into along the way. If we go to Falkreath, that's where Lucian is going to be. And then just outside Falkreath in some glade somewhere, I believe is where we would find Ori. I'm not going over to Morthal, so I'm not worried about Kaizia. And I think, like I said, my first companion person that I'm going to be trying to pick up is probably going to be Marisi. And then maybe I might go into Whiterun and see if I can pick up Janessa as well. That's why I'm grabbing all the loot so I can have the money, because she's either going to cost 500 gold or 5,000 gold. And if it's 5,000 gold, we're probably going to have to do without. But if it's 500, we hopefully would have made that in spades by then and can afford it. And as you can see, they just hit us with the "you're hungry" thing, so that is a thing. So let's double check it and see. It says it restores 10 points of health. My concern is, you see, it does not restore 75 points of hunger like this bread does. 75 points of hunger, 50 points of hunger, 75 points of hunger. So we'll eat that. I don't know how many points, and then we'll eat a cooked turnip, and then maybe see what happens there. And then right now, I wish there was more feedback, and then maybe I'm just not looking at it, but you can see we are well fed. And maybe one of these things down here, you can see there's 100, there's 68. That might be the conditioning of the armor and the boots that we're wearing. The boots are 100. But I don't see anything else to indicate. You know, we see 0% fire, 0% cold, 0%. So I don't know what those actually mean right there at this moment. So there are a lot of things that we got to figure out and get, make sure we understand. So yeah, there's a whole gambit, a whole bunch of stuff that we got coming up next time out. And once we get going, then we got to see what the stability looks like. Darkstar is pretty small relative to a lot of the other places, so stability is probably going to hold out a little bit better for us. And once we get someplace like Whiterun and even Windhelm, that's when we should start to see some issues, right? I don't know if we'll actually make it to Winterhold anytime, but I am kind of curious because that librarian person was very intriguing. So it's just a long way to go. And I didn't see a cart outside of town here. That would have been an option if the carts were, if there were extra places where the carts are actually moored, or whatever you want to call them, where they're actually stationed. So this would be our next stop. This guy will either take us to Solitude or Windhelm. And in this case here, part of me, I don't know if I want which one. The Solitude, I'm curious because the last time, and then this is what I can't remember, is exactly who all was in Solitude for us to get. Katana is there, but I don't want Katana. But if Ash is part of this, Ash would be there, but I don't know if she is. And there might possibly be two other folks that are there that we could get as companions as well. Maybe I'll go to Solitude and just scrounge what I can cold. That way, I'll still be cold, but probably less cold. And then from Solitude, we definitely can get a cart or a carriage on down to Whiterun, and then go see what we all need to do at that point. Okay, guys. So for right now, I'm done. All right. So remember, like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you next time. Stay tuned for more. All right. Definitely hit that subscribe button. Definitely hit the like button to let me know you want to see more of this mod list. Okay, guys. Peace.